What's up, ladies and gentlemen? I'm Aeron. Welcome back to the Wrestle podcast. Time for a bit of breaking news. I thought I'd cover and have a few words to say on, because I always get people tweeting me saying, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? So I thought we'd try and kind of keep our finger on the pulse, and obviously it's quite a big moment, really. Stephanie McMahon has made an announcement via her Twitter. I'll read it out to you, and then obviously give you my quick thoughts on it. Dear WWE Universe, about 8 months ago I took a leave of absence, and within a few weeks unexpectedly had the opportunity of a lifetime. I had the privilege to return as the co-CEO and chairwoman of the board of WWE. I cannot put into words how proud I am to have led what I consider to be the greatest company in the world, working alongside a remarkable leadership team and one of the strongest executives I've known in my co-CEO, Nick Khan. Our founder, Vince McMahon, has returned as executive chair and is leading an exciting process regarding strategic alternatives. And with Nick's leadership and Paul Triple H Levesque as chief content officer, I am confident WWE is in the perfect place to continue to provide unparalleled creative content and drive maximum value for shareholders. WWE is in such a strong position that I have decided to return to my leave and take it one step further with my official resignation. I look forward to cheering on WWE from the other side of the business, where I started when I was a little kid as a pure fan. I will always remain dedicated to WWE. I truly love our company, our employees, our superstars and our fans, and I'm grateful to all of our partners. Thank you for everything. Then, now, forever, together, Steph. So Stephanie McMahon has officially resigned from WWE. It's been a real shift. Obviously, in the last few months, we saw Vince McMahon somewhat retire. Now he's coming back in. Some people have essentially said, you know what? He feels like he had bad advice and he's just going to let all the allegations and stuff blow over. A lot of people believe that their company has been primed for a sale. Now, if that is the case, this would definitely make sense from this perspective. Stephanie allegedly has a lot of traits of her father. Very stubborn, very aggressive when it comes to business. So it would not surprise me that if they are indeed selling the company, she has chose to resign, because maybe she doesn't want to work under obviously new ownership, particularly as she will not own the company outright when it's sold. I think that it's ultimately, I don't feel like Stephanie's creative decisions were as great as a lot of people did. I felt it was very haphazard. We know for a fact that for the longest time she was working as one of the lead creatives for the company. But to be fair to her, in the last few years in particular, she's been a magnificent brand ambassador. So from that perspective, this is actually quite a tough one for WWE, because ultimately what they're losing is an individual who is able to market the company very well and create a great public perception of the company, because that's the most important thing here, is the perception of what people think of your company. And that's something that Stephanie McMahon was really good at doing in the last few years. To be honest, I thought on screen as a character she was excellent in the early days, not so much later on. But again, it's one working movement in what could potentially be a very unique and very combustible scenario. Are they going to sell the company, or is Vince McMahon just deciding to double down and retake control? That obviously will dictate how we feel about things. But ultimately, a lot of people are nervous because Triple H has shown that he can lead creative quite well. He can run the company essentially very well. And the fact that Vince is kind of bringing back in more of his guys means that they're going to push more towards probably Vince McMahon's direction, especially if they're looking to sell. Right now is the best time to sell. For anyone who doesn't know, the company is absolutely flooded financially. You know, it's flush, as they like to say. Looking good on the stock market. So if they are going to sell, now will be an excellent time. And especially with AEW, albeit not being fantastic, but still being a very credible alternative for a lot of people and a lot of fans, and still garnering up to 1 million viewers on its flagship television program, Dynamite, it does feel like WWE could really hammer home their intentions to stay at the top of the mountain as the best sports entertainment based product in wrestling, and ultimately the best wrestling production in the world. Stephanie McMahon resigning, is a blow from a public perception, but I don't think a huge blow, frankly, as far as creative and on-screen characters go. Frankly, her last few runs with the Authority and the stuff where she was alongside Triple H, her husband again, especially with the Roman Reigns stuff and the Shield, frankly, was awful. I thought it was terrible television. I don't think she was a very good actress. I think that she essentially became like her father, just not nearly as entertaining. And that's a big issue, because if you take away the entertainment factor of Vince McMahon, he's ultimately a bit of a bastard. He's a bit of a piece of shit. Let's be real. A bit. Well, I mean, some people might argue a monstrous piece of shit, at least allegedly. But the bottom line is that her leaving the company might be slightly damaging from a marketing perspective, but ultimately I think that the company will be just fine without her. If anything, it's just a time to reflect really on some of her all-time great moments. I have noticed that a lot of the wrestlers have been tweeting and responding, saying how disappointed or how gutted they are, but they wish her all the best. Let's not forget as well, Stephanie McMahon is a mother, first and foremost, and wants to pay attention to that. I will say that I really enjoy Stephanie McMahon back in the late 90s and early noughties, right in the prime of the Attitude Era, and going into the Ruthless Aggression era. I thought she was excellent. I really enjoyed her as a GM on SmackDown as well, and I loved all her stuff with Triple H in the beginning, and when she first kind of joined DX and stuff like that, when they reincarnated DX for the second time. That for me stands out as her best stuff on screen, and there was some really nice moments in there as well. I really enjoyed her early doors as a GM when she was flirting with characters and having a bit of fun, and just looked like somebody who was enjoying herself a lot more. But she's always had a reputation for being, very stiff upper lip like her father, unlike Shane, who has the opposite reputation, of being just a really good, upstanding and wonderful individual. So, we can only wish our best for Stephanie McMahon. Hopefully she enjoys her resignation. She enjoys being able to chill out and enjoy the product as a fan. I'm sure she'll still be around and floating around. And it wouldn't surprise me if at some point maybe she does come back in. It'd be very interesting to actually sit down with her and genuinely pick her brains. But one of the biggest things with the McMahons is they're very good when it comes to public perception of not really giving away how they truly feel. And this is pretty much the same in that regard. That being said, Stephanie McMahon resigning from WWE. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, loads of content on the channel. Got loads of watch-alongs coming, interviews. We've also got our end-of-year awards that dropped earlier today. Check that out as well if you want to find out who we gave our awards to for 2022 in mainstream wrestling. And we'll also be doing an end-of-year awards special just for British independent wrestling, because obviously myself and a number of people involved at Wrestle work exclusively in the British wrestling independent scene. Thank you very much for watching. I've been Aeron, and I'll catch you very soon for more content from the Wrestle Plug.